Watching our beloved Cowboys crumble every year when it matters most begs the question, is there something more to the story? Something more beneath the surface? What is holding them back? We are going to explore the myths and curses haunting the Dallas Cowboys, assess if they still deserve the title of America's team, and what lies ahead for them in the 2024 season. As we sit down and discuss the tales of glory and gloom, ask yourself, is it a twist of fate, fluke, a Swiftie, or a curse that has redefined and stripped the title of America's team? In the high-stakes world of the NFL, dynasties are built and legacies are forged. Teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers, the Green Bay Packers, and the New England Patriots have become emblems of relentless success. Contrast this with the perpetual underdogs, the New York Jets and the Detroit Lions, where victory seems as elusive as a mirage in the desert. Once hailed as America's team, the Cowboys have become a paradox, masters of the regular season who inexplicably unravel when the playoffs come around. For 2 decades, this pattern has repeated. The Lombardi Trophy continues to elude Jerry Jones's trophy case since Jimmy Johnson departed. Is it something haunting them from their past they cannot shake? Was Jimmy Johnson a football divinity that could never be duplicated? Or did owner Jerry Jones lose his marketing mojo to a Swiftie? Whatever the reason, the Dallas Cowboys have been unable to replicate their glory days and have become a shadow of their former selves. The team's fans are now left to wonder what went wrong and what it will take to break the curse and bring the team back to its former glory. In 1967, the Cowboys lost the NFL championship to the Green Bay Packers while wearing their blue jerseys. 2 years later, in Super Bowl V against the Baltimore Colts, they donned blue again and suffered another defeat. Superstitions began circulating, and the legend of the bad luck blue jerseys began. Others attribute the curse to the 1971 Super Bowl loss when the Cowboys wore blue jerseys but won the following year in white, or the 1980 NFC Championship game loss against the Philadelphia Eagles, after which they switched from royal blue to their current navy look. Former Cowboys executive Gil Brandt believes the curse began in a 1976 game against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals' white jerseys forced the Cowboys to wear blue, resulting in their first loss of the season. Despite this curse, the team's recent record in navy blue jerseys has improved. They've won 8 out of 10 games while wearing them over the last 2 seasons. It would seem to some that by removing the cursed jersey, the team's level of success began to improve, coupled with the entrance of the Cowboys' golden years under the coaching of Jimmy Johnson. From 1989 to 1993, his tenure culminated with the Cowboys winning consecutive Super Bowl titles in Super Bowl 27 and Super Bowl 28. Winning only one more Super Bowl in 1995 under Barry Switzer has sent the Cowboys' playoff record into a near freefall since then. Under Johnson, Dallas went 7-1 in the playoffs. Since then, they've only managed to squeak out 9 wins. Mired with the haunting reality of early playoff exits, the Cowboys had a revolving door of coaches since 1994. Barry Switzer, who served as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys from 1994 to 1997, is a unique figure in NFL history. Known for his charismatic, unorthodox style and straightforward attitude, Switzer was one of the few coaches who successfully transitioned from college football to the NFL. Before joining the Cowboys, Switzer had a highly successful career in college football, primarily with the University of Oklahoma, where he coached from 1973 to 1989. He won 3 national championships and was known for his potent wishbone offense. His tenure at Oklahoma was marked by a 157-29-4 record, reflecting his effectiveness as a coach, but also marred by several player controversies and NCAA violations that eventually led to his resignation. Switzer's move to the NFL was controversial and unexpected. He was brought in by Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, a former Arkansas football teammate, after Jones had a very public and bitter split with Jimmy Johnson, who had the Cowboys already dialed in on a dynasty. Switzer inherited a team filled with talent and high expectations. In the NFL, Switzer's tenure was a mix of highs and lows. In 1995, he led the Cowboys to a Super Bowl 30 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers, proving his critics wrong who doubted his ability to coach at the professional level. However, his time with the Cowboys was also characterized by disciplinary issues among players and a perceived lack of control, contrasting sharply with his predecessor's strict regime. There were certainly notable disciplinary issues and instances of perceived lack of control. One of the most infamous examples was the situation surrounding a place dubbed the White House, which was actually a private residence near the team's practice facility. This house, rented by some of the Cowboys players, became notorious for its off-field activities. The White House was reportedly used by players for private parties and was rumored to be a place where excessive behaviors like substance use occurred away from the public eye. The existence of such a location and the behavior associated with it contributed to a public image of a team lacking discipline and control, further amplified by Switzer's more relaxed approach compared to his predecessor Jimmy Johnson, who was known for his strict and disciplined coaching style. These issues were part of the broader challenges Switzer faced in managing a team full of high-profile and sometimes volatile personalities. The contrast in leadership style between him and Johnson led to perceptions that Switzer was less effective at maintaining discipline, which some believe affected the team's performance and reputation during his coaching years. After a disappointing 1997 season, Switzer resigned from the Cowboys, citing burnout and the pressure of the job. His NFL coaching career was brief but notable for its successes and the dramatic circumstances surrounding both his hiring and departure. Out with Switzer, in with Chan Gailey. Gailey's tenure as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys from 1998 to 1999 was brief yet impactful, reflecting both the challenges and the potential of the team during that period. When he took over the Cowboys, the team was in a transitional phase. Many of the stars from the early 1990s Super Bowl teams were aging or had left, and Gailey was tasked with trying to sustain the success of Dynasty on the decline. His appointment was seen as a move towards stability and a focus on disciplined, fundamental football. 1998, Gailey's first season led the Cowboys to a 10-6 record, winning the NFC East. This was a commendable achievement given the state of the roster and the high expectations set by the team's success in the early 1990s. However, the season ended in disappointment with a loss to the Arizona Cardinals in the wildcard round of the playoffs. This game was particularly frustrating for Cowboys fans as the team struggled to perform against a Cardinals team that was considered an underdog. The next year, they finished 8-8 and made the playoffs because their division was weak. However, they were disappointed again with a loss to the Minnesota Vikings in the wildcard round. That game showed some weaknesses in Gailey's strategy, especially an offense that couldn't keep up with the high-scoring Vikings. Despite these playoff disappointments, Gailey's approach was generally well regarded. He was seen as a coach who could develop talent and impose structure, but there were criticisms regarding his conservative game management and some questioned whether his style was too restrained, particularly in an era that was beginning to favor more dynamic offensive strategies. After only 2 seasons, Gailey was dismissed by the Cowboys. This decision was influenced by the team's lack of playoff success and a desire for a new direction by the team management. Gailey terminated, in comes Dave Campo. Before becoming head coach, Campo had a lengthy tenure with the Cowboys, serving in various coaching capacities. He was part of the coaching staff during the team's successful early 1990s period, serving as the defensive coordinator under both Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer. Campo took over the Cowboys at a time when the team was in decline. The roster was aging, and the team was suffering from cap issues and a lack of young talent due to previous trades and draft misses. Under Campo, the Cowboys posted a 15-33 record over 3 seasons. Each season under his leadership saw the team winning only 5 games. The lack of success was not entirely Campo's fault. He inherited a weak roster, and the team was in a rebuilding phase, but as head coach, he was unable to significantly improve the team's fortunes. Campo's tenure was characterized by the team's inability to compete effectively against stronger opponents. After 3 consecutive 5-11 seasons and 0 playoff appearances, Campo was dismissed following the 2002 season. His firing was part of a broader organizational shakeup as the Cowboys sought to return to competitiveness. Arrivederci Campo, ciao Bill Parcells, often referred to as the Big Tuna, is a towering figure in NFL coaching history, known for turning around struggling teams and instilling a disciplined winning culture. His tenure with the Dallas Cowboys from 2003 to 2006 is a notable chapter in his illustrious career. Before joining the Cowboys, Parcells had already established a formidable reputation with a resume that included 2 Super Bowl victories with the New York Giants and successful stints with the New England Patriots and New York Jets. Known for his tough, no-nonsense coaching style, Parcells was adept at quickly transforming underperforming teams into contenders. Parcells joined the Cowboys at a time when the franchise was struggling to regain its former glory. Under his leadership, the Cowboys showed immediate improvement. His first season in 2003 saw the team finish with a 10-6 record, a significant improvement from the 5-11 records of the previous 3 seasons under Dave Campo. During his tenure, Parcells led the Cowboys to 2 playoff appearances. The first in the 2003 season ended in a wildcard round loss to the Carolina Panthers. His final season in 2006 also concluded with a playoff loss in the wildcard round to the Seattle Seahawks, famously marked by Tony Romo's botched snap on a potentially game-winning field goal. This moment is often highlighted as a significant event in Cowboys lore and speculated as a contributing factor to Parcells' decision to retire, although Parcells himself has cited broader issues of commitment and readiness to continue coaching. Parcells' influence on the Cowboys extended beyond his tenure. He helped lay the groundwork for future success by rebuilding the team's roster, including the acquisition of key players like Tony Romo, who was undrafted but developed into the team's starting quarterback under Parcells' tutelage. His coaching philosophy and practices left a lasting impact on the team and on the NFL as a whole. Farewell, Parcells. Greetings, Wade Phillips. Phillips served as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys from 2007 to 2010. Phillips came from a football lineage. His father, Bum Phillips, was a renowned NFL head coach. Before taking the head coaching job with the Cowboys, Phillips had extensive experience both as a head coach and as a defensive coordinator with several teams, including the Denver Broncos, Buffalo Bills, and San Diego Chargers. His defensive schemes, particularly the 3-4 defense, have been highly influential. Phillips led the Cowboys to 2 playoff appearances. His tenure is especially noted for the 2009 season, when the Cowboys won their first playoff game since 1996, defeating the Philadelphia Eagles in the wildcard round. However, the team's playoff journey ended in the divisional round with a loss to the Minnesota Vikings, where the Cowboys were overwhelmed, losing 34-3 in a game that exposed some strategic and performance deficiencies. Despite regular season success, Phillips faced criticism for not advancing further in the playoffs and for some high-profile losses that raised questions about the team's mental toughness and his ability to prepare the team for crucial games. Midway through the 2010 season, following a particularly disappointing start with a 1-7 record, Phillips was dismissed and Jason Garrett began his journey. Jason Garrett's tenure as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys from 2011 to 2019 marked a period of stability and moderate success, though it was often shadowed by frustrations due to playoff shortcomings and high expectations not fully met. Garrett was the Cowboys' offensive coordinator and had a significant stint as a backup quarterback for the team during the 1990s. Known for his sharp mind and understanding of the game, Garrett was promoted to head coach after serving as the interim head coach following the midseason firing of Wade Phillips in 2010. Under Garrett, the Cowboys made 3 playoff appearances. Each of these seasons reflected some of the best aspects of Garrett's coaching, showcasing strong regular season performances. 2014, the team went 12-4, driven by a potent offense featuring DeMarco Murray and a standout offensive line. However, they were edged out by the Green Bay Packers in a controversial divisional round loss marked by the infamous Dez Bryant catch ruling. 2016, with a 13-3 record, this season saw the emergence of Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, who revitalized the team's offense. The playoff run ended in a nail-biter against the Packers again in the divisional round, featuring a dramatic Aaron Rodgers sideline throw that set up the game-winning field goal. 2018, the Cowboys defeated the Seattle Seahawks in the wild-card round, but were outplayed by the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round, ending their playoff hopes. Despite regular season success, Garrett's tenure was often criticized for the team's inability to advance beyond the divisional round and for some conservative in-game coaching decisions. After the 2019 season, following another year of not meeting playoff expectations despite a talented roster, Garrett was not offered a new contract, leading to his departure from the team. So in comes the savior, Mike McCarthy, 2020 to 2023. Before joining the Cowboys, McCarthy had a significant coaching career with the Green Bay Packers, highlighted by a Super Bowl 45 victory following the 2010 season. His time in Green Bay was characterized by a strong offensive system and consistent playoff appearances, making him an attractive candidate for the Cowboys, who were looking to return to their former glory. McCarthy was brought in to replace Jason Garrett, with the hope that he would usher in a new era reminiscent of the successful periods under coaches like Jimmy Johnson. His offensive background and previous success were seen as key factors in revitalizing a talented but underachieving Cowboys roster. Under McCarthy, the Cowboys experienced a fair amount of regular season success, making playoff appearances in 3 of his 4 seasons at the helm. However, each of these playoff runs ended in disappointment. 2021 season, the Cowboys had a strong regular season, but were eliminated in a controversial and closely contested wildcard game against the San Francisco 49ers, foiled by clock management issues. 2022 season, Another promising year that ended in frustration with a divisional round loss to the San Francisco 49ers, continuing a pattern of playoff exits. 2023 season. The team once again made it to the playoffs, but faced a wildcard round exit at the hands of the Green Bay Packers, McCarthy's former team, marking a third consecutive playoff loss under his leadership. It would seem as though the Cowboys traded one curse for another. The arrival of Jimmy Johnson signaled an era of dominance for the Cowboys. Johnson's coaching acumen, strategic vision, and ability to mold talent were instrumental. The Cowboys became a force to be reckoned with, but it wouldn't be long before the post-Johnson hangover settled in, a hangover that seemingly will not subside. The Cowboys have been unable to replicate the same success they had during Johnson's tenure. The team has failed to find a coach to lead them back to the playoffs. This has led to a disappointing era of mediocrity for the team. The problematic relationship between coach and owner fueled much of Johnson's departure. The two may have begun as friends and respected colleagues. Still, the Cowboys' success eventually turned their egos on each other, both claiming credit for the 180-degree turnaround. Disagreements over personnel and an unstable balance of power throughout the organization would eventually lead to an abrupt end to Johnson's tenure as coach. One could only imagine what might have been had the two found common ground. So, was Jimmy Johnson a coaching phenom or just a temporary lapse in the Cowboys' curse? Was the Cowboys' recent descent the result of the Jimmy Johnson curse or the ill effects of Jerry Jones's ego? Jones is a marketing maven. He transformed the Cowboys into a global brand, primarily responsible for their moniker as America's team. Their value, $9 billion, and profitability reigns supreme, even as playoff victories remain elusive. His empire spans real estate and silver helmets, yet he yearns for football acclaim. The desire to be seen as a football sage drives him, but the curse persists. Despite Jones's business acumen, the Cowboys have stumbled in the playoffs. This season's debacle hurt more than usual, leaving critical decisions in its wake. Is Jones the captain steering the ship through stormy playoff seas, or is he ensnared by the curse? The Cowboys' playoff drought persists, yet their value soars. It's a paradox only Jones can navigate. But there's one new wrinkle to the curse that Jones could never have anticipated, and it could haunt them for years to come. The Cowboys are America's team because Jerry Jones said so. They continue to reign as the league's most popular team because Jerry Jones is marketing them that way. But now there's a new sheriff in town, and her name is Taylor. Her presence at Kansas City Chiefs games had an unexpected ripple effect. Her relationship with and support for Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce drew a whopping 24.3 million viewers on Fox in a single game, making it the most watched telecast that week, despite the Chiefs blowing out the Bears 41-10. Is it possible that Swift's unintentional marketing savvy turned the attention away from the Cowboys, landing the Chiefs in a new position of adoration and praise from the American public? It seems that Taylor Swift extended the curse into a new era and dethroned the Cowboys from the throne Jones had created. So, who's America's team now? Well, it certainly can't be the Cowboys. You can't have America's sweetheart pop star dating someone not on America's team. Seems the world of Swifties has spoken. If Taylor loves the Chiefs, then so does America. Taylor has successfully shifted the nation's allegiance from the Cowboys to the Chiefs. This could be the beginning of a new era of NFL fandom, and yet the same old hat for the Cowboys curse. Yes, it is true. The Cowboys lost the magic and will now face a new opponent, the Taylor Swift curse. They'll have to start winning more games to break the curse. If not, they'll be facing the wrath of Swifties everywhere. NFL fans might wonder what might have been had the Cowboys beat the Packers in 1967 or dream about a longer and more storied legacy of Jimmy Johnson. Nevertheless, Cowboys fans are stuck, mired in the curses of the past, and fighting an uphill battle from the curses of the future. Is it really a curse or something more sinister? We'll never know, but one thing is sure. The Cowboys have a long way to go before they can break their curse. By subscribing, we will send you positive vibes for your favorite football team to be champions this season.